Malaysia's Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail, who is on an official visit to Brunei Darussalam, had an audience with the Sultan of Brunei Darussalam, His Majesty Sultan Haji Hassanal Bolkiah Muizzaddin Wad Daulah Sultan and Yang di-Pertuan Brunei Darussalam at Istana Nurul Iman in Bandar Sri Begawan. She was accompanied by Deputy Foreign Minister Marzuki Yahya and the Malaysian High Commissioner Designate to Brunei Darussalam, Ismail Salam. The two-day visit this week was one of a series of familiarization trips to fellow ASEAN countries by Dr. Wan Azizah since becoming appointed as the Deputy Prime Minister last May. The visit was also to strengthen bilateral relations and cooperation between both countries, which was established 35 years ago. During the visit, the Deputy Premier was expected to look into new areas of cooperation in trade and investment that could be explored jointly. Brunei Darussalam is an important trading partner of Malaysia, having chalked up bilateral trade to the tune of 3.9 billion ringgit last year. US President Donald Trump departed for Vietnam for his second summit with North Korea's Kim Jong-un. The two leaders were to meet in the Vietnamese capital Hanoi, 8 months after their historic summit in Singapore, the first between a sitting US president and a North Korean leader. At the time, they pledged to work toward the complete denuclearization of the Korean peninsula, but their vague agreement has produced few results. US Democratic senators and security officials have warned Trump against cutting a deal that would do little to curb North Korea's nuclear ambitions. South Korea is looking forward to tangible and substantial results from the summit in Hanoi between US President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, South Korean Foreign Minister Kang Kyung-hwa said in Geneva. She declined to comment on whether the meeting could include a formal declaration on ending the 1950 to 1953 Korean War, but said they were hopeful of a substantial outcome, both on the side of the denuclearization as well as on the side of the corresponding measures from the United States. US Democratic senators said security officials have warned Trump against cutting a deal that would do little to curb North Korea's nuclear ambitions. An Irish chef in Hanoi is serving a cheeky menu specially tailored to mark the summit between US President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Two new burgers, the Dirty Donald and Kim Jong-yum, were on sale at the Dirty Bird restaurant as Vietnam's capital prepared to greet the two leaders. The restaurant's co-owner and head chef Colin Kelly said the two burgers were designed to capture the likeness of the leaders. Kelly said the Dirty Donald was like Trump himself, so extravagant, with double beef, double bacon, topped with strands of yellow chicken floss. He said to match some of the controversy surrounding Trump, the burger comes with a Russian dressing. The Kim Jong-yum burger is made of smoked meat, kimchi mayonnaise and crispy fried kimchi. A few customers were allowed to try out the new creations before they went on sale. Hanoi resident Trong Trang said the Kim burger was mysterious, like North Korea, and she was left wanting to eat more burger and learn more about North Korea. Kelly said he'd been surprised by the interest in the burgers. He was even visited by two North Korean journalists who wanted his opinion on the burgers and the summit.
Reporters that just wanted my opinion on.
It's becoming an increasingly familiar story. These sisters have fled from Saudi Arabia. They've been hiding out in Hong Kong for nearly 6 months. The pair claim they were being beaten at the hands of their brothers and father. Under the kingdom's strict guardianship law, those male relatives would also have had control over many aspects of their lives, including travel abroad. They say they were prevented from boarding a connecting flight to Australia and were intercepted at the airport by diplomats from Saudi Arabia. Reuters could not independently verify their story, and the Saudi consulate would not respond to requests for comment. The sisters, who go by the names Rawan and Reem, have had their passports revoked. Their lawyer says they're waiting for news on an asylum request in a third country. The plight of Saudi women in the conservative kingdom was thrust again into the spotlight last month when Saudi teen Rahaf Mohammed Al Kunun was granted asylum in Canada. She barricaded herself in a Bangkok airport hotel room to resist being sent home to her family. Human rights groups say not all women who escape are successful, and they attempt to flee at huge personal risk.
Their lawyer says they're waiting for news on an asylum request in a third country. As it stands, Hong Kong immigration has told the girls they can only stay in the city until Thursday.
There are 5 mosques in Hong Kong, and the biggest one is in Tsim Sha Tsui. We take you inside the Kowloon Mosque, which held its first open day recently after a major renovation. This main prayer hall, fit for 1,800 people, is normally off limits to women and non-Muslims. This main prayer hall, fit for 1,800 people, is normally off limits to women and non-Muslims. It's the first time visitors are allowed in after a 5-month renovation, which included a fresh coat of paint and polished marble pillars. The local Muslim community hopes to dispel misconceptions about their faith through open days that come complete with guided tours. Volunteers offered more than just Islamic teachings, but also Arabic calligraphy and halal food. A bit of fun also for those who want to try on Arabic costumes or a hijab, just for a few pictures. Some took the opportunity to learn the Islamic way of life for an estimated 300,000 Muslims in Hong Kong. The next open day has been set for mid-September. Residents in Japan's southernmost prefecture of Okinawa voted against controversial plans to relocate a U.S. airbase. With voter turnout hitting 52.48%, more than 70% of voters, or 434,273 residents, rejected the contentious relocation of the U.S. Marine Corps Air Station Futenma from the crowded residential area of Jinowan to the coastal, less populated region of Henoko, also in Okinawa, according to reports from Japan's Kyodo news agency. Only some 110,000 voters are in favor of the move, official data showed. Officials called on residents in the prefecture to go to vote and jointly protect their hometown. Residents in Okinawa have the same will that they want to safeguard peace and the beautiful ocean for their offspring, so land reclamation for a new base is impossible. This vote is a very good chance to express the people's will, said Keiko Itokazu, a member of the Japanese National Diet. Residents have made numerous complaints about U.S. soldiers at the airbase not being held accountable for their wrongdoings. Accidents have taken place. However, the U.S. forces, even if they break laws or regulations, go unpunished in accordance with the relevant agreements between Japan and the U.S. Plus, the military base is something related with war. I don't think military bases should exist in the world, said one local resident. As the vote is not legally binding, it has been pointed out that the relocation will continue under the guise of the Japan-U.S. alliance. For residents themselves, voting is a chance to make their voices heard. The province of Laos celebrates their bond with elephants as symbolic and historical importance in the annual Elephant Festival. On the 13th edition of the festival this year, Thai people from Uttaradit province join the activities to demonstrate culture and traditional ties between humans and elephants. A Thai delegation led by Uttaradit Governor Thanakorn Ugjit Paisarn looked to strengthen ties between the two provinces of the neighbouring countries who share similar cultures related to elephants. After an opening ceremony, a procession of 70 elephants and cultural performance troupes took to the streets of Xayaburi. Bangladeshi commandos shot a passenger last week who had tried to enter the cockpit of a Biman Bangladesh Airlines flight after waving a gun and threatening to blow up the plane, Airline and Aviation Authority officials said. The passenger, who had said he had a personal issue with his wife and told the pilot he wanted to speak to Bangladesh's Prime Minister, Sheikh Hasina, died later from the injuries suffered after the commandos stormed the plane at Chittagong Shah Amanat International Airport. The man's threat to blow up the plane, which was on its way to Dubai from Dhaka via Chittagong, led to its pilots to make an emergency landing. With the plane close to Chittagong after leaving Dhaka, the passenger stood up from his seat and tried to go to the cockpit, according to aviation officials. When a member of the crew blocked his way, he showed his pistol. He then said he had explosives, and if they didn't open the door of the cockpit, he would blow up the plane, officials said. It was not immediately clear if he had explosives, though the pistol was real, according to a senior aviation official. It also wasn't immediately clear if the pistol was loaded or how it got through security. Before the commandos moved in, all 142 passengers and most of the crew had been let off the aircraft unharmed. One crew member had been held hostage, the official said. The Mexican government have auctioned off 218 government vehicles in an effort to shed unneeded vehicles and finance security and social development programs. Most of the vehicles were armored cars and trucks used by the 1,000-strong presidential guard that President Andrés Manuel López Obrador dissolved shortly after taking office last December. Police motorcycles, trucks and vans were also auctioned off at the event, which was held at the Santa Lucia military base on the outskirts of Mexico City. About 90% of the vehicles put up on the block were sold, raising about 62 million pesos, or $3.24 million. The government has announced it will auction off vehicles seized in criminal investigations in the coming weeks and plans to auction off planes and helicopters in another auction in April of this year. Thousands of people of Miao ethnic groups gathered in a small village located in Guoyan, new area, southwest China's Guizhou province, to celebrate the annual traditional Qiaohua festival. The festival of Qiaohua, meaning jumping flower in Chinese, is one of the most important festivals for the Miao people. It carries their cultural memories, life wisdom, and distinctive ethnic characteristics as well as their homesickness. It has a long history with abundant historical elements and cultural connotations, and residents of Fenglin village from Machang town said they have celebrated the event for nearly 30 years. The festival includes folk performances, but mainly features singing and dancing to the accompaniment of lusheng, a reed pipe wind instrument. It also is an occasion for the Miao people to show off their best attire and decorations. Large numbers of wild birds were recently spotted to inhabit inside a grove of factory premises in Shantou City of South China's Guangdong province. These birds, including egrets, were spotted by a worker with the factory. The grove, with an area of 1 hectare, has become the habitat of thousands of egrets and other wild birds, presenting a scroll of painting inside the factory premises. The ice that froze up the Hukou waterfall has melted down in rising temperatures, enabling China's second longest river to roar once again. As a result, the water volume surged and the Yellow River galloped downstream, creating several minor waterfalls. The magnificent waterfalls created clouds of mist and rainbows. The roaring river is like a giant dragon crawling over vast stretches of land. The majestic waterfall attracted flocks of visitors and shutterbugs. Located on the border between northwest China's Shanxi province and North China's Shanxi province, the breathtaking scene can be seen in both provinces. Lin Fry has been growing her mullet hairstyle for 48 years, and she, along with mullet enthusiasts from across Australia, assembled in New South Wales town of Kurri Kurri last week to crown the best mullet of them all. Fry, a cake decorator from Sydney, says her 4 children have been asking her for years to cut off her mullet, but says she won't, and entered and won the extreme competition category to show them the hairstyle was worthwhile. Glamorized in the 1980s, the mullet hairstyle, known as a Tennessee top hat in the US, is, according to vintage category contestant Chris Tame, all about confidence. Over 160 contestants were categorized into 8 groups. The 3 junior categories were everyday, grubby, ranga or red hair, vintage and extreme, with winners from the adult categories going into the running for the overall winner. Contestants were judged on the condition, cut and maintenance of the mullet and on the stage presence of the contestant. Bonus points are awarded for costume, dancing and answering their interview questions. Horse breeders led their stallions and mares to move at rhythmic gaits during a Saudi festival celebrating the Arabian horse, a source of pride for many in the kingdom. The second edition of the Ashar Kia Arabian Horse Festival, held in the eastern region city of Dammam, featured 400 Arabian horses. The event featured several activities, including a photo competition and a horse beauty contest. The horses performed before an audience and a panel of judges, with the latter evaluating the animals and assessing their type and body. The horses were also evaluated at standstill and for their movements during their trot, according to the festival's website. Saudi Arabia has made strides in the field of horse breeding over the past decade, according to members of the festival's organizing committee. The kingdom snatched the first place in Arabian horse production, beating the United States, said Hamad Kuraya. The kingdom is keen to develop its sports industry as part of wider reforms to diversify the economy beyond oil exports. For festival visitor Ali Mishal, that diversity was palpable, he said, with Saudi Arabia fostering interests in art, culture, entertainment and history. The Arabian horse is deeply ingrained in Arab history and culture and has a known history which spans 5,000 years. It is considered one of the purest equine breeds and is known for its beauty, as well as endurance, courage, strength and loyalty. Since the 16th century, European royal families and aristocracy sent emissaries to the deserts of Arabia to bring back the thoroughbreds to breed in their stables. There is a great pride in owning and preserving what is considered by many equestrians as one of the world's finest breeds.